trip comes with surprises, and it's not always the good kind. I'm talking about missing luggage, mystery outlets, and that airplane sleep that really feels like an awful form of torture. And that is why today I am sharing with you 9 brilliant travel essentials that are all under $30 that can keep those travel headaches to a minimum. Let's go. When you think about it, most travel problems are actually pretty small, but they can ruin your day in a very, very big way. But the good news here is that there are affordable fixes. And today we're going to go through 9 travel must-haves that all come in under $30 that will hopefully take those frustrations and make them disappear. From some clever little gadgets to some little comfort items, these are things that are going to let you focus on the fun parts of your trip. I am going to have everything that I'm talking about in today's video down in the description below and in the first pinned comment, so it's easy for you to find if you want to check them out later. Let's start with something that seems really tiny, but it can make a huge difference: earplanes. If you've ever been on a plane and landed with that very painful clogged feeling in your ears, you know it is not fun. And for some people, it goes away quickly, but for others, it can last for hours, if not maybe even days. My mom has always struggled with this. Her ears just don't clear very well when she flies, and she used to spend entire vacations being incredibly uncomfortable because of it. Then she tried out the airplanes, and now she will absolutely not get on a plane without them. They just look like small little earplugs, but they are designed with a filter that helps regulate the pressure changes in the cabins. And they also help to cut down on background noise, which is a nice little bonus. They're reusable, they're very easy to pack, taking up minimal space. If you're like my mom and ear pain has kept you from enjoying your first day or few days of your trip, these are definitely an easy fix. Airplane sleep is so tricky. You finally manage to doze off, but your head keeps dropping forward or maybe rolling to the side, and you wake up just really sore and cranky. And by the time you land, you've barely slept at all, and your neck has more kinks than, well, a garden hose. I have tried so many pillows that just did not work. That cheap U-shaped pillow that you see everywhere just pushes your head forward, or you flop around, and it doesn't work at all. And I did use the turtle neck rest for quite a while, but if you don't have a window seat and somewhere to like lean your head up against, it doesn't really work all that well. The Sarah Sun pillow is the first one that actually feels relatively comfortable. The memory foam head support is attached to the seat back behind you, holding your head in place so that it doesn't, like slump forward. It eliminates that typical neck stiffness that you usually get from trying to sleep upright because your neck is constantly moving around. It also compresses down into a little bag that will fit easily into your carry-on or personal item bag. At this point, I've taken it on 4 very long overnight flights, and I've managed to get quite a few hours of decent sleep. Being able to land and go straight out to exploring makes such a difference than dragging your butt around for the first day of your trip. It's not a total magic fix for getting amazing airplane sleep, but it is the closest that I've come to arriving to my destination without feeling just completely wrecked. Keeping track of luggage can be one of the biggest sources of stress on a trip. You hand over your suitcase to some stranger, and then you cross your fingers and pray and hope that it is going to make it to your destination. And if you've ever had that awful gut feeling waiting at baggage claim, realizing that your suitcase just isn't coming, oh yeah, that's not fun. We just experienced that ourselves, my daughter and I, in Africa a couple of months ago. Using Apple AirTags, or really any type of tracking device like the Tile or the Samsung Smart Tags, can really take the mystery out of it. You can just slip these small little trackers into your suitcase or even your carry-on, and honestly, I put it in my personal item bag and my wallet too. And then you can use your phone to check and see exactly where your bag is. Did it make it on the plane with you, or is it stuck back at the last airport? I mean, you're gonna know right away for better or for worse. And another great way to use these trackers that was suggested to me by many of you in the comments is to leave one in your car, especially if you have it parked at the airport. That way, when you return home from your trip exhausted after maybe several hours or days of travel, you don't have to remember where you parked your car a week or two before. Personally, I think the trackers are one of the best inventions that has been created over the past 10 to 15 years, but I would like for them to make one small enough to put on my reading glasses so I can find them even if they're on top of my head. And I am curious, what are some other good places that you have put trackers when you're traveling? Let us all know in the comments below, because I didn't know about the car thing until some of you mentioned it to me, and I thought that was a brilliant idea. Always learning from our community. With our growing dependence on electronic devices when traveling, like using your phone to check your tracking devices, one of the biggest hassles is keeping those devices charged up. You might get to your hotel or your accommodations and pull out your charger and realize the plug doesn't actually fit in the outlet, or maybe you only brought one adapter that has one plug, but you need to charge your phone, your e-reader, and your headphones before the next day. But for some reason, you just don't have time to get them all plugged in, and then you're left with something that is only 20% charged in the morning. And that is why I always travel with adapters from today's video partner, Epica. They are super reliable, and as the US's #1 travel adapter brand, Epica is constantly creating new versions of adapters that solve a variety of problems, including the new hybrid mini 30-watt 5-in-1 travel adapter and the hybrid 20-watt 8-in-1 travel adapter. Not only do these compact adapters change the style of plug to fit into your destination's outlets, they also include multiple different plugs and ports so that you can plug in several devices at the same time. And with the fast charging capabilities, they're going to actually be fully charged when you wake up. The 8-in-1 model includes 4 AC and 4 DC ports, while the 5-in-1 features 2 AC and 3 DC ports. I've charged my phone, my e-reader, my laptop, and earbuds all together with just one outlet without ever having to swap things out, and they all got fully charged. They've named them the Hybrid series because they start with a built-in US style plug, and then you can add the appropriate swappable adapter head for the country or region that you're traveling to. Currently, the hybrid adapters come with an EU style swappable plug head, but they will be rolling out other Visa plug types like the Type G that you use in the UK and the Type E and F plug versions to swap out very soon. The great thing is that I can use this adapter at home as my main charging block to keep all of my camera gear powered up. And then I just pack it in its little bag with the right style plug head to use at my next destination. They are very lightweight and compact. They are only they weigh about 2.5 ounces, which is about 40% lighter than most universal adapters. They're extremely portable for travel, taking up very, very little space in my tech pouch. The 20-watt 8-in-1 model is probably a better choice if you carry more gear, like multiple cameras and headphones like I do, since it has 8 charging options built in. But if you travel light and are lucky enough to maybe work remotely, the Mini could be an excellent choice. It delivers 30 watts of power, one of the highest outputs for its size, so it can fast charge most phones and tablets very easily. It also includes 2 AC outlets, making it perfect for powering up a laptop, which is especially convenient. When I'm packing, this is one of the first things that I make sure is in my bag. It takes away one of the most annoying parts of travel, trying to keep everything charged. A big thank you to Epica for sponsoring today's video. You can grab your own hybrid adapter for just $19.99 right now with my exclusive 20% off code. So don't forget to check the link in the description and first pinned comment below, and make sure that you use that code before it expires. I think of my waterproof backpack as one of those just in case items that always ends up being far more useful than I actually expect. Although I don't ever carry it around for walking around a city or touring a city, I do love having it when I'm doing something a little more adventurous and outdoorsy, like hiking or doing fun boat excursions, or every once in a while spending a relaxing day at the beach. When I am out hiking, I don't have to worry about sudden weather changes, and since I have been known to do a lot of hiking in the tropics, you just never know when a sudden rainstorm is going to hit. It is perfect for keeping all of my electronic gear dry and functional. And there are two extra bonus uses for the dry bag. One is that you can actually use it as a laundry bag in a pinch. I have filled mine with water and a little bit of laundry soap in order to wash things like my underwear and socks when I can't get to a washer. And the second way that you can use it is if you have bought too many souvenirs and they won't fit in your luggage, you can take like all your dirty clothes and pack it in that dry bag and seal it up, and then take it as a second checked-in bag. And then that'll leave you room in your luggage to bring back all of those extra souvenirs that you purchased for your loved ones, of course. Not for you, I'm sure. We would never do that, right? It may sound a little extra to bring your own hangers when you are traveling, but when you show up to your destination and your accommodations and there are only like 3 hangers in the closet and your capsule wardrobe is almost all linen and cotton, you're going to be very, very happy to have these little guys, especially if the only hangers that are available are the security ones, you know, the ones that you can't remove from the rod. God, I hate those. If my clothing has gotten rumpled from being packed, which, you know, using compression packing cubes, it almost always does, I like to hang them in the shower or in the bathroom when I take a shower so some of the steam can, you know, get rid of that rumpledness. And these foldable hangers are perfect for that. They collapse down flat, so they take up almost no space, and then they just pop open into regular sized hangers. I use them for airing out stuff that I've only worn once or twice, so I can get maybe a second or third wear out of them. I also use them to hang up wet bathing suits or anything that I've laundered in the sink or dry bag, like I mentioned before. It's just so nice to know that when you are having to live out of a suitcase with everything getting kind of wrinkled and jumbled together, you can hang up a few things and feel a little more organized. It's one of those things that, you know, doesn't take up a whole lot of space, but it really does make unpacking a whole lot smoother, and your clothes may be smoother too. I don't know what it is about hotel bathrooms, but half the time the lights are really dim, or they're in the wrong spot, or the only light is the overhead light so that every shadow and wrinkle shows up on your face. Really not at all helpful when you are trying to put on makeup and not look like a clown when you walk out into the daylight. That is why I started packing a small travel mirror with lights. This one folds down flat and takes up very minimal space in my luggage. And having it with me, I always know that I'm going to be able to have great light despite whatever creative lighting design the hotel or Airbnb decided on. It's especially nice when I'm sharing a room on a girls' weekend or even with family. I can just pop it open and set it on a desk or a dresser or maybe even a windowsill to have my own little makeup space. The one I use does have adjustable lighting, which is handy when you're doing daytime makeup versus maybe going out in the evening. I don't know about you, but I just really like knowing that my makeup looks halfway decent before I walk out the door. One of the biggest things that used to stress me out about international travel was trying to figure out my phone service. Do I risk those roaming charges, or do I just try to use Wi-Fi the whole time I'm traveling? Neither of these seem like great options, but last year I finally decided to try out an eSIM for the first time, and I am never going back. It's so easy. You just buy the plan online before your trip, you download it to your phone, and then the second you land, you've got data and phone service right away. It's perfect for figuring out how to get to your first accommodation or figuring out where your luggage ended up. I used Airlo last year for a trip around Sweden, Norway, and Finland. I bought a 3-week regional plan for about, I think, $25, and it kept me covered the whole way through without me ever really having to think about it. I could check maps, look up the best restaurants, write a restaurant review, update social media without ever worrying about how much my phone bill was going to be when I got home. It's just one of those behind the scenes kind of things that will take a layer of stress away from you. And you don't have to worry about being cut off from everyone the moment that you land in a new country. This next one might show a little bit of my vanity, but I like taking pictures, and I like having pictures on my trips that include me and the people that I'm traveling with. And it can be fairly easy to do until you are traveling alone. Then it's a whole bunch of weird selfies or trying to balance your phone on maybe a wall or a rock or a post and use the timer function running back and forth to your phone and praying the whole time that your phone's not going to fall and smash itself on the concrete below. And yes, you could ask a stranger, but you never really know what you're gonna get when somebody else is taking your picture. I mean, I've had my head cut off, I've had where half of my body is out of the picture, or everything is super blurry. So before I got my Apple Watch, this tiny little Bluetooth remote changed all of that for me. You just pair the remote with your phone, then you set your phone on a little tripod, like the little Moft one that I have on the back of my phone, or you can, set it up in a safe place, and then you just use the remote to take the pictures or videos that you want. For me, it's really less about getting the perfect photo, and it's more about making sure that I'm actually in the memories of the trip itself. Or if there's two of us traveling, like, I travel with my daughter all the time, we get pictures of us together. When I look back later, I want to see myself in those places that I loved traveling to and not just the scenery or another church or castle. And over here is a great video that's going to give you a lot more tips on how to get those perfect pictures if you're traveling solo or maybe just with another person or two. Thank you again to Epica for supporting this channel. Don't forget to check out that link in the description and pinned comment so that you can use that code before it expires. And thank you for choosing to watch this video today. I hope that you have safe and wonderful travels.